it's like this gospel cluster bomb just exploded in the air, and pieces of it landed throughout Ezekiel. And so what I want to do today is just scrape all those pieces together and give you a guided tour through the good news in Ezekiel and just say, here's how he talks about it. Okay, so if we had two medical professionals at this church in the past tell me the same thing. And what they told me was the worst part of med school, or nursing school, whatever it was the part about like skin diseases and rashes and stuff like that. And I'm like, interesting. So the second guy that tells me that, I'm like, that's not the first time I've heard that. Why is that? And he says, well, let me show you. So he shows me his book, his textbook on, skin issues. And it's a big honking thing, right? And I look at it, I'm like, wow. And so I flip through it, and I'm like, gross, gooey. Oh, that one's oozing. That's disgusting. And he says, what do you notice? And I said, they all look the same. He's like, exactly. It's hard to tell them apart, right? So I start skimming through these chapters, and it says, okay, here's what this is, and here's what leads to it, and here's what happens if you leave it untreated. And in the middle of or at the end maybe of every chapter, there's a little section on how to treat it. What do you do about this? Which most of it was like, fluids, rest, hydrocortisone cream, fluids, rest, amputation, fluids, rest, And so some of these things there just wasn't a whole lot to do. But I get that feeling when I'm reading Ezekiel because it's like a med school textbook for the human soul. Look at all the stuff that goes wrong. And sometimes if you step back, it can all just look the same. It all just looks like sin and moral depravity and rebellion against God. But when you get in there, it's like, no, actually, this is something that humans will do. And here's what leads up to it. And if you start to see this, here's what you do about it. And over here, this is what happens. And the solutions and the treatments are sprinkled in there. But you got to make it through a lot of gory details in order to get there. That's the book of Ezekiel. And honestly, guys, that's the Christian life.